Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I don't normally do any type of like technology review or like devices review, but I probably should. I work in an IT field, so I definitely am familiar with a lot of new like releases and things like that. And today in particular, I am doing my review on the new iPhone 10 or X, whatever you want to call it. It should be 10. But I wanted to do this video because I have never really pre-ordered an iPhone before, but I've been an iPhone user for probably I don't know, 8, 9 years or something like that. I've had the 3GS, the 5, the 6, and now the 10. So every 2 years or so I've had one. So it's been a couple of years, and that kind of makes me just a little bit knowledgeable on previous versions. So I wanted to do something that talked about my experience and everything that I've learned with my iPhone in the past almost 4 weeks, which means I've almost had it for a month because I pre-ordered it and I got it right when it came out. So I'll let you know what I think and any little tips and tricks that I have for you guys. The first thing, let's start off with the size. So the iPhone 10 is a little bit bigger in size than, for example, the iPhone 6, which is the one that I had previously. You can tell in height that they're a little bit bigger, and if I align the screen sizes, you can tell that it's significantly bigger than the regular 6 or 7 or 8, etc. And the screen is also significantly bigger than the one of the Plus. So the one of the Plus is a little bit smaller, I believe, but the 10 is also a little bit less wide, so it's a little bit shorter in width. Funny enough, this time around I wanted to get one of the Plus phones, and they came out with the iPhone 8 and Plus for this previous release before the 10. They kind of released it in September or so, and this one came out now in pre-orders were in October, and then releases were in November. The iPhone 8 and Plus were very similar to the ones that were previously released, and of course that would have been my obvious choice. I would have probably gotten the gold, rose gold, like weird mix of the two color, but I actually decided to not go that because obviously this one had way more features that probably are more attractive to me than the other. So I've taken mine out of the case so you can see it a little bit better. As you can see, the camera is now vertical, whereas before it was either a circle or it was horizontal, and the versions following my 6. But as you can see, I think the reason why they did the camera, to be honest, aside from telling you that this is one of the new phones and it's a new like feature of it, is also for AR. And obviously AR stands for Augmented Reality, which this phone and I believe the 8 and 8 Plus also have Augmented Reality, where you can kind of like use it and on the table, and if you have some of the games or even some of the apps, I've heard like Target is doing something similar to this, where you can actually view something that you're seeing here on your like table or something because of the camera. So not physically, but obviously through the phone. So that's a pretty cool feature. Mine is in the silver color, which I used to call it the white one, but it's clearly a silver. I always go for the lighter one in color. I'm not a black phone kind of gal. One of the things I do look for is the white in the front, which as you can see this one had, this does not. But you only get the little bezel at the top. You sometimes can see it in the lock screen depending on your background, or you can see it in different applications, but it's honestly not a big of a deal. I've gotten used to it. Some people say they haven't gotten used to it, but it's not that bad. To unlock the phone, you just kind of tap on it, or you can lock it in the same way that you had it before. So you can tap it, which is honestly one of the best things ever. I always do it, and now when I go back to this one or I'm using somebody else's phone, like my boyfriend, he has a Samsung Galaxy phone, I always want to like tap the screen for it to unlock, and a lot of them don't do that obviously. So I tap to unlock, and you have your command center here, which you can have your Wi-Fi and your Bluetooth and everything, your music, your do not disturb, your brightness, your volume, your camera, your alarms, and everything here. And I've kind of customized mine to also include the low battery setting, which I didn't know that was a feature that you can add to it. The screen grabbing and capturing option, which I'll probably use to show you guys a little bit more of the items that we're going to use in the phone. You can also add notes, and you can add wallet, and then just your regular other things like your calculator and alarms and flashlight, etc. If you swipe from the middle down, you get your notifications, and then you can swipe to get the rest of your items that you had here with your time, your applications, your other gadgets, etc. One of the cool things that I found with this phone is that you can switch between apps by going up and then kind of like switching between the apps. One of the things that a lot of people I've noticed don't know is that if you go up and you hold down, you can just swipe up and kind of clear all the apps. One of the other cool features and gestures that I've come to love on the iPhone X is swiping between apps. And this one I had to get a little bit used to because I saw it in the video and I didn't actually get it. So you first have to, either you can be here in the home screen and it will always take you to the one that you previously opened. And the big features about this new phone is obviously the Face ID. And Face ID, if you're not familiar with it, is one of the features that this iPhone has to unlock your phone. Before, with some of the previous iPhones, you could unlock your phone with just putting in your PIN and your passcode to get in, or you can use Touch ID, which is with the home button, which this one does not have anymore. You would put in your fingerprint here and then would read it, right? With this one, obviously you can't do that because there's no home button. But now with the iPhone X, you unlock it with your face. And it's as easy as setting it up and putting your face and kind of scanning it around. And then you would just look at your phone and then it just kind of looks for your face. And there is a sensor up here that would look for your face. And sometimes it constantly like kind of buzzes because it's looking for your face. And you can turn that off. You can say it to stop like kind of looking for your face unless you kind of just have it in front of you. But otherwise, if you put it in front of your face, it kind of shows a little lock, as you can see here. And then you can easily swipe up and then just unlock your phone. I don't even think about it anymore. Now I just assume that it's going to work, just like I did with Touch ID. You just kind of put your finger and just assume that it's going to unlock it every time. With this phone, you have an extra step that you have to swipe up, but I don't even think about it. Like I said, I just know that I have to swipe up and I know that it's going to look for my face and I'm just going to assume that it's going to find it. So I kind of just look at my phone, unlock it, and then just swipe up. And there you go, it's unlocked. I don't have any problems unlocking my phone. I've tested it in some weird scenarios in this past month or so. I've used it like right as I'm getting up in the morning and yawning to see if that finds it. It does not. I wear glasses, so I've tested that with glasses and it's fine. I've tested it with like my jacket zipped up all the way until like here, and it does find my face. So it works pretty well for the most part. One of the gestures that I wanted to mention here, in case it is something that you definitely like, is the reachability. You have to turn that on first of all. In the other phones, you couldn't really reach the top because the screen was a little big. So they kind of made this thing where you can double tap on the button before, on like the home button, and you would be able to kind of see this kind of move down a little bit so you can reach it, so you don't have to like move around your fingers and everything. But with this one, I just recently found this out, so I wanted to share it with you guys. And you just kind of have to swipe down a little bit, and I've kind of found that this is one of the most difficult and annoying features in this phone because sometimes the apps get in the way. So for example, my calendar here at the bottom, it says calendar. So when you're trying to do this, okay, now it worked. But sometimes sometimes the calendar, like for example, I just went to the calendar section to see all my calendars. It does that, and it does that in different apps. It kind of, if you don't think about it, you might swipe up instead of down. It's just something that is not something that I'll remember a lot and I have to work on. And that's one of the things I also wanted to mention about the phone. A lot of the things coming from a different iPhone to this one, you have to remember a lot of like the gesture, which I'm completely fine with. I am a big change person. I like approach change with open arms, and I love technology and I love different new things to try out. So I knew that trying this phone was a big adventure in its own. So just kind of like swiping up to unlock and switching between the apps and things like that, they was a little bit hard to remember at first, but now those things are second nature. So if you're worried about that, if you're switching over to this phone, then that's okay. You'll get it. I also wanted to touch up on just a couple of things that the iPhone has that the other ones do not, like Animojis and the portrait mode and things like that. Animojis, I use them all the time, and you can make little faces. I'll put some here of me talking or something, but they're really fun. I use them as stickers and put them on text messages, or I send random videos to my mom or my best friend, or even to John, even though he has a Galaxy. I still send them, and everybody can still receive them. It'll just show as a video if they don't have an iPhone. It's not an iPhone X feature only to receive, only to send, obviously, because that's part of the feature here. But I think they're really adorable, and I definitely recommend you guys type in Animoji karaoke on Twitter or online, and you'll see a ton of videos that people do with these little faces. The camera with portrait mode is really, really good. I can't speak for the previous versions of phones that had the feature because I didn't have that, and my iPhone 6 did not have that feature. It was only for, I believe, the 7 Plus. So that's definitely a thing thing that I'm looking forward to. I've already used it on some photos that I've already posted on social media and things like that, and on my stories on Instagram, so they look quite professional and quite beautiful. You do get some weird times where the background kind of looks kind of weird and there's like spaces. Like I took a photo of like a cup just to test it out, and like the handle part just kind of didn't really blur in there. It is like a software type of blurring. It's not like an actual lens that would do like a 50mm lens, which are my favorite lenses, or more of a zoom lens that would do that. So you kind of lose that specific professional look, but you still kind of, it looks professional enough that you can post it. You just have to get used to using it, and then all your photos are going to look perfect. A couple of other things I wanted to mention that I've noticed some people have had difficulties with are finding the battery percentage of the phone. You can swipe down and it would be right here in the command center. So you would just see a little percentage here. Otherwise, when your phone is locked, you do not see it. So that's a little bit of a bummer. But now I don't even think twice and I just know where to check it. A lot of people were upset that the phone was supposed to be glass in the front and in the back, which, by the way, the back looks absolutely beautiful, and so does the front. So I have absolutely no problem with that. I have been using Sonic's phone cases for as long as I've had my other one, and they work perfectly. I am very prone to dropping my phone, and I never had a cracked phone with that phone case, and I'll put it on so you guys can see it on. If you're thinking of getting a silver one, I definitely recommend these cases. They look beautiful on. I have the Oleander beautiful phone case. It's a clear case. It has some gold kind of reflective items here, and it's clear here so you can see the silver here on the outside, and I normally like it to show the white in the front, but I've gotten used to it not having the white in the front, and it looks beautiful just the way it is. I also wanted to include that as an avid user of Apple Pay, I have had no problem with it. Pretty much when you go to pay, or even if you go to download an app, it kind of asks you to double tap on the right side of your phone, the unlock button, and then you just have to double tap, and then when you double tap, it finds your face, and then you can just pay. So it's not as if it's going to pay every single time it looks for your face. You have to kind of give it an extra push to do that, which I'm perfectly fine with, because if it tried to pay every single time that my face was around, then I would be spending so much money, and I don't want that. And the last thing, just coming from a different iPhone without, you know, with the home button, it was kind of hard to break the habit of pressing the button to kind of unlock my phone. But like I said, now I'm kind of just looking to swipe in every single phone and different apps. So it's kind of funny that I had a problem with that initially. So thank you guys for watching. I think this is, for the most part, everything that I wanted to say and touch upon. But if I did miss something, I will mention it either in the comments, or I will leave it in the description box. Or if you have any other questions about it that I didn't answer, maybe I missed, let me know and I'll answer them as best as I can. I am really, really happy with this phone. It also weighs a little bit more than the other phones, but it feels really nice in your hand, so it's not a big deal. And also it's kind of a good way to tell you, hey, don't drop your phone, because it's a little heavy, you know. The other ones were a little bit flimsy and kind of light. But yeah, I really, really like this phone, and I've been really liking it since I got it. I also want to say I've never pre-ordered a phone. I've never pre-ordered anything in my life, but I decided to do this. I woke up at 2 in the morning and I had to wait an hour and a half in the AT&T app, and the app kept crashing. So if anybody's here with me that went through that, thank you. We're brothers, sisters for life, because this was kind of a big deal for me. I've never done this. I was very excited for this release. So let me know your thoughts, and if you like this video, and if you have any questions, I will answer them. Thank you for watching my video, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!